All right, this is the latest Sci-Fi Roundup, but this one we're going to go over actual science fiction stuff. So, an update on the Planetary Society's solar sail. So, about a year ago, the Planetary Society launched an actual solar sail. So, it's a giant, super thin filament fiber satellite, and it unfurled, and it's using the solar wind, the solar power particles coming from the sun. They tilt the angle every so often, to keep it in line with the sun to push it. So it's for the past year, it's been orbiting the Earth only on solar wind power. Like since they launched it, that's literally the only thing that's continuing. It's not in I don't believe it's in a geosynchronous orbit. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure it's literally just sailing. There are students that come in like every night and they check it, they communicate with it. It's continuing to sail. And I don't know if it's continuing to build up speed, what its current orbital velocity is. But I find that pretty fascinating. Like, are they going to point it toward a star once it builds up enough speed, or are they going to, where are they going to send it somewhere? Like, what is our future plans with it? It's just going to continue to orbit the Earth? Where are they going to sail it to? Like, are they going to launch more of them? That would be nice. Like, that would be cool if they could build a fleet and launch them all to the nearest star systems, even though they might take years to get there. The next update is the space elevator. So China has claimed that it has created the two things you need for a space elevator, right? You need the cable has to be super strong, and then you need a delivery system for the energy to power the space elevator. So the first part of that, China has claimed to have invented about a year ago a specific cable strength carbon nanotube, because carbon's pretty strong. That's diamond, right? It's carbon. Carbon nanotube that is constructed at a molecular level to be strong enough. They claim it's strong enough for a space elevator. So that's half of the equation for building a space elevator. The other half is, because it would need probably 12 cables, 6 to 12 cables at least, because super strong. The Earth's pull on it constantly, gravity. The second thing you need is power. So 10 years ago, I think is what I looked up. 10 years ago, the latest SpaceX prize for powering a sample elevator, there was a team that won part of the prize for being able to laser power something that could rise. I think it took 9 to 10 minutes to rise with the laser beam over a certain period. But at a certain point, the laser beam lost cohesion and it lost power. So they won. They beat all the other teams and they won part of the X prize. But nobody won the big prize, which was to do it under a certain, I think it was under 3 minutes was the restriction, under a specific amount of time. None of the teams pulled it off. So that's basically beaming a laser at the object and it using that power to go higher and higher. So that's currently no teams have built something to beam the power at a laser, but there are more advanced lasers now than there were 10 years ago. There aren't any current X prizes that I know of for that particular item, but I do know there is research going into beaming microwave radiation from space. Like if you had a satellite in space aimed at the sun and it converted the solar power of the sun into a microwave beam and pointed down, you could theoretically power a whole city that way. So there are teams working on that, but again, then you have to launch the satellite and pay for the satellite and do all that stuff. So that would power a space elevator for sure. But who can afford to do that? You know, it might be another, you know, state sponsored thing like China or something. China also has plans to put a base on the moon by 2030. We'll see if that happens. That's the second update. The third thing, oh, SpaceX. SpaceX, of course, successfully launched their rendezvous with the space station. They had the live video you could watch. Their spaceship looks pretty nice. It's got all these computer screens on it, touch screens. It's pretty fancy looking. The astronauts were wearing their new spacesuits that were like form-fitting. It was pretty interesting. It does look pretty fancy. It reminds me of 2001: A Space Odyssey, kind of. And their next goal is to build the Starship, right? Hopefully one that doesn't explode, because a lot of their test models keep exploding, and they claim they keep learning more and more and more every time one explodes. And I'm like, well, hopefully you can learn to not explode one. So to me, the fascinating thing was the Dragon, right, lifted off, re-landed itself, the pieces that didn't get used. So and then the other item I'm going to talk about is the NASA Autonomous Research Center insect robots. So they're making advances with the insect robots. So you could launch a swarm of these little robots, like on the moon, wherever, plant an asteroid, right? You could put them at a Lagrange point, but then they wouldn't have anything to build with. But theoretically, launch them on the moon, they can build something. These little autonomous robots, really small, work together, can build something. They're making advances with that. So to me, that's fascinating too. So like, could you put these together like a solar sail with the nanobots and launch them at Europa maybe, and they could build an ice castle, you know, who knows? Those are the updates of the day. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.